Coffee with the Summerland Kids. I just want to say, nobody realized how early this stuff is. Look at Aaron; he's still in the dark because the sun hasn't even cracked open yet.
I can't even see you.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
hold on. I hear you. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, there you are. So it is Tuesday. It's September 3rd, 2024. In case you forgot what year it was,
That Jericho, those are such arbitrary sounds to
I know, right?
signify this very moment.
Exactly. Let's see. It is mostly sunny in Summerland as usual. The current temperature is 63 with a high of 83. So another dream situation, as in maybe if you were in Santa Ynez, you'd actually want to drive over to the beach today to go to the beach in Summerland today, because it's another one of those days where our parents would set up a giant line of beach chairs and hang out and talk, even though it might have been a work day, you know? Yeah.
Oh goodness, you talk about Santa Ynez. I guess they call it up in the valley or
Yeah.
up in the hills, whatever. I know that on the Central Coast, where I'm from, or where I went to school,
Right.
um, there's Paso Robles. They call it over the hill, right?
Okay.
Tascadero, Paso Robles, all that Santa Margarita. Um, and you get up there and you get those 100-degree days, and then 15 minutes into Morro Bay, and you're getting those cool 60-degree mornings with the fog, high of 80 in the
Nice.
afternoon.
Wow.
And I don't know if I missed that or not. I mean, definitely in the middle of July when we're looking at 110-degree days for 5-6 days in a row. Okay, yeah, I miss it. Um,
Yeah.
but this time of year, I'm pretty comfortable, here.
Yeah.
Uh, Even though, I guess Northern California, I guess such a interesting. I don't know. I'm watching this crazy thing on the internet, some law person, some law stuff about America and citizenship and taxes and stuff, and it's starting to make sense to me, but it makes absolutely no sense at all.
Right.
Uh, and then I think, oh, language. Okay, language. We make these arbitrary sounds, right? Ooh, that. Oh, the sound for you, Jericho.
Yeah. Right. Aaron.
Everett, Everett. I wonder, like 100,000 years from now, if they catch these recordings, they're gonna be like, "What are these guys talking about? Making these noises?" And
Right.
it just is so interesting to me to contemplate, um, perspectives. I guess.
Yeah. No, for sure. In the movie Idiocracy, I think they touch upon that, and they say that in the future the language has been like sort of co-opted. Different languages have been melded together.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. It's like a little bit of Valley Girl, a little bit of
yeah, like
slang,
exactly.
and like the
City
guy
speak.
in Idiocracy,
Idiocracy. Yeah.
that played the guy from the past, the smartest guy on earth
Yeah.
at that point in time. Um,
I love that.
they all made fun of the way he spoke, and he just kind of spoke normal like we do
Yeah.
right now, I guess.
Exactly. That movie's
Accents and stuff, accent,
right.
parlez-vous français, different languages. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm on a weird tangent.
No, that's
Like I
good.
said, I was watching this lawyer thing. I don't know. It said how to get unlimited money, so I'm like, oh, let's watch this because if I have unlimited money, I could go buy the old property that your dad built.
Yeah.
I could go buy the house up the street from where I was born. I could go buy 10 houses and I guess a fictitious business statement, all these different aspects of corporate person and
Yeah.
legal entity and all this. It's just getting me wondering, like,
Yeah.
is it impossible to get this $20 million we had been talking about so we could buy the property you grew up on, the property I grew up on, and owner it?
Yeah. I think what the challenge that I see, because I just the other night I looked up, one of my favorite I would say roads in Santa Barbara. I'm going to keep it a secret, but so I'm looking at it and going like, okay, well, it looks like there's a piece of property up there, and we'd seen the tractors rolling around up there, and it said something about 900 and let's say 950,000. And then below, I scrolled down, and then it said like 1.4 million. So either way, you're looking at a sort of $1 million deal. Let's call it million and change. So when you put $1 million and change into a flat piece of property, what is required? In some cases, they have rules against what you can do, of course, and then they have rules saying what you kind of have to do, I guess, and of course you have to pay your taxes. So what is the property tax in California on your property that's been evaluated at that rate? So do we have to have another 5 million in the bank just to pay, just to have a set aside, account to pay our property tax every year? I mean, that's a thing, right? I have no idea.
Oh, I know. In the mortgage or whatever I got,
Right.
I pay part. Part of it goes to the principal, most of it goes to the interest,
Okay.
and then there's part of it goes to what's called an escrow fund.
Okay.
So that escrow fund is there to pay for insurance and taxes, basically.
Right. That's cool.
So,
I'm super. I gotta say, dude, you did such an amazing job, because thank goodness you had like a moment of clarity, and you have an awesome partner that you guys both kind of went like, you know what? Let's make this decision and let's do this. Let's get a house. Let's jump into this real deal. And I think that's an amazing leap of faith. Slash, you're doing it. You're on it. You're staying on top of it. So that is a huge deal, bro. Yeah. So
well,
congratulations
yeah,
on
I
that.
mean, you got to be somewhere and you got to do
Yeah.
something. And,
Exactly.
I get the little tiny bit of retirement, so I might as well, have somewhere to be that I can
Yeah.
claim domain, put my flag. I always talk about putting my flag up, put my flag up. Uh,
Yeah.
and,
Exactly.
I guess, it's better than paying rent in a way, rent, you just
Right.
pay and it goes to the landlord and he does whatever. But, in a way, you got to be responsible for repairs. We got this rabbit now and he's chewing up the carpet and chewing up everything. And,
Right.
obviously when we go to sell it, I'm going to have to probably replace some baseboard, replace some floors. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I was just kind of blown away about, I really don't understand what this guy's saying. I understand parts of it, but it's like,
Yeah.
a corporation is considered a person under this or that law, tax code, nationalized citizenry, you know, obviously, we talk about money, but what, so come to find out, no, Federal Reserve notes are not necessarily money. They're promising. Yeah, it's just very confusing.
Yeah. No,
And so
I
I
feel
figure
you.
if there's so much confusion going on about money, was there a way that I could maybe take advantage of that confusion and say end up with several millions in a bank account, or us, as a fictitious entity, Summerland Kids,
Yeah.
aka the organization of you and I.
Right. Yeah.
And then of course that brings me to thoughts of, well, doesn't it say somewhere in the Bible, if two men agree and pray in faith and act in
Yeah.
faith, isn't there something that anything can happen, or anything can
Oh,
happen, Jericho?
absolutely. No,
Anything,
I
anything at
know.
all.
I believe it. Right away I think of like, you know, when if I was to take the parents, to back to California, so to speak, then because I've learned that the management, um, really, property management in here, at least the current situation I'm in with the company, I just don't feel that sense of security in leaving my property um, with someone else, unless I felt like they had a sort of like plan in place to like, let's drive by once a week or twice a week or once a month, check on the property. Is everything okay? Like just keep an eye out. What they say, that old, slang, good looking out. I just don't feel that good looking out scenarios is going my way. In at least in one property, the house my mom built for my grandmother. Um, so there's that, and then also I want to say on our other our property with the cabin and the barn, it's like such a weird place that's so finicky. You have to have a very special person that was almost like slightly had an ingenuity slash mechanically inclined, not afraid to turn on a generator, et cetera, to keep it going. So it's like living on the edge style. So,
Well,
anyways,
are you technically, you guys are off grid, right?
yeah, we're totally off the
I
grid,
mean,
man.
so
Yeah.
you're on well water.
What? No, no. Well, we have a cistern, and I just put the tank on the truck this morning. I can
Okay,
show
so
you.
you
Yeah,
if you had a well, you're
I
basically
can show
no
you right now.
no city water.
Here's my truck, and then here's my water tank. Let me get back here. Um,
Okay, and then so you're on solar slash
so
generator,
there's the water tank in the back of the truck, right there.
and
So
that's
that
what, twice a month type thing.
no, it's like frick, dude. It's let's see. It would be, I would say probably comfortably once a week minimum, maybe even twice a week. So that's 275 gallons is the per time. Um, Even though might give me 300 by mistake or something, but um, so that but the tank itself probably holds like 15 1800 gallons or something like that. It's probably a standard cement cistern tank. Um, so to keep it topped off, so to speak, because we're we're watering the like 5 water dishes for their bird feeder type things for the deers. So we're we're taking care of deer mamas and deer babies, and what else? The birds, of course, and then my dad, who's down below us right now. So I have a really long hose and run down to his trailer, LOL. But for real, Dad's camping, and so he has probably like I would say 55-gallon tank in his camper. I'm just guessing. So the water goes away, the garden, etc. Shower every day for me.
So you don't you're off grid,
Yeah,
basically.
we're off grid. We're 100% off grid. Yeah, no. We have a, what do you call it? The septic tank that occasionally you probably would annually. I'm not sure how annually, but you would empty that thing. There is what they call it, I think, a leach field.
Yeah, I think
It's
every year or two you gotta hire the septic guy, comes with the truck and pumps it out.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's all legit. It's legal. That whole thing. My mom bought the property from an old truck driver, guy named Earl. Classic story, but he he brought the cabin up from a different location and located it on the property and dug a little foundation. So there is a crawl space underneath the cabin, and it's pretty darn basic: 1 bathroom, 2 bedroom, living room, cabin. Looks like a log cabin too. It's got the little logs. It's like probably pre-manufactured style, but still looks like a little cute cabin.
No, that's super cool.
Yeah.
The whole
So
off grid thing. It's interesting. Because I guess back in the whatever days before we had too much stuff. Frontier, you're going
Frontier.
into the frontier,
Yeah.
you gotta make sure you got your water. I guess first of all, that would be the first thing.
Yep.
Because with water, like you're saying, the deer come, the birds come, so you have a little bit of game. You're
Yep.
able to water the garden so
Yeah.
you can have some vegetables or fruits or whatever. So, and then you got electricity. Okay, so technology, has advanced, from whatever Baghdad batteries, with the lemon
Yeah.
juice,
Yep.
the lights have, manufacturing, all this has, made it easy to where someone could go out like you could drive into the city, per se. You don't necessarily have to have that feed from the creek or a well drilled, because you can kind of basically go into town and fill up, or even, I guess, hire a guy with a bigger truck.
Yeah.
Uh,
People do that. Yeah.
I used to do that. I didn't, but I lived on a place where the guy did that.
Yeah.
I guess the well produced a gallon, like really super low amounts, right?
Yeah. Like
So,
if
like,
you
if
were.
you were just
Yeah.
one person or maybe two people up on the property, very, very, aware and conservative about your water, you could probably get away with it. But if you got a garden and a kid that needs a shower every day to go to school or
Yeah.
whatever, obviously that's going to be a lot more water. But I don't know, it just trips me out, because we are in society, we are in cities, we do use promissory notes as exchange, promise of
Right.
gold, and it just blows my mind, because I guess I gotta blow my mind because, in all reality, I've come to the point where it's like I'm here. Okay,
Yeah.
I brought Summerland and that feeling,
Exactly.
that moment here, and
Right.
you've been a big part of that, bro.
Yeah. No, for
Because it's
sure.
like every morning it's like, oh, we got art class or first period together in school. It's Jericho.
I know.
And
That's
so
kind
I
of
can
it, man.
remember those times, simpler
Right.
times, I guess, when we're children
Yeah.
and we don't have all this adulting to do.
I know.
And
Gosh, this
so I
kind of
bring it into
sucks.
the house here, even though the July is like crazy hot and stuff, right? But I could bring that feeling. Oh, because I remember hot days too, down at the beach and being so
I know.
thirsty and not wanting to walk up to Lookout Park to drink the waterfall, or
Right.
I guess in your case, walk up to the house,
Yeah.
'cause that kind of steep hill, and well, we can
Yeah.
go up there and but so it's like, oh, here I am with Summerland here,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Exactly.
then what's the reality of so what's the reality of the potential of
I
saying,
know.
okay, what is this unlimited childlike fantasy of Earth, and reality and adulting and community, society, um, to play into that, I guess, in
I
an
know.
imagination way of how to make it, feasible for me to go up and be like, oh, the $10 million house Jericho's dad built for his grandpa. Here, it's
Yeah.
ours. Here's this $2 million
Right.
house right up the street, a block away from where I was born. Oh, it's ours, right? And,
Yeah. Is
and like,
that one still available? Have you looked yet? Do you have do
I
you
haven't looked. I imagine
Yeah.
it's gone. I've looked, and there's a
Eh,
couple more here and there.
Oh, okay. So different ones
But I
coming up.
guess it's more about playing with the imagination
No, I'm with you. Yeah.
of
Absolutely.
not necessarily, oh, it's so far away, but oh, how easy is it? So I've been looking into these things, Jericho. You've been
Yeah, that's
looking into
good.
getting a job and figuring out your money. I've been looking
I
into how
know.
to use AI to make $20 million overnight.
Yeah. Well, for sure, you got to have. I would say, because when you have that kind of money, um, the dispersion of the funds to different accounts, I think that's a thing because, like for example, if you have your eggs in one basket, like let's just say Wells Fargo, um, then you would cross your fingers that you'd hope that that financial institution could hold your funds and not vaporize it somehow. I think South Park does some pretty funny. There's one episode, I think it's about the kid goes in the bank and he's like, "Yeah, I'd
Oh yeah,
like to open a checking account for my
yeah.
son."
His
You
grandma
know,
gave him a check for $100, and he's like,
yeah,
"I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy that." And the dad goes, "No, you're gonna put it in the bank." And
yeah,
so he goes, "Oh, how do I do this?" And he goes, "Oh, well, first we'll put your money here, then we'll put
yeah,
it there, then we'll put
yeah,
it there. Oh, it's gone."
yeah, and it's gone. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, there's that factor which is kind of scary. So I do think that I've had what do you call it, relationships with people, of course, with more money than me, da da da, and they oftentimes would have like, okay, I got a few classic cars, I got some silver, I got some gold, I got some money in Bitcoin, what else? Maybe invested a little bit in real estate, so they got like, what do you call it, diverse portfolio.
Diversified.
Yeah, diversified portfolio. So there's that aspect of it, and then there becomes the with the physical, tangible things. Okay, the maintenance on those vehicles, keeping those things up, putting them in a garage, blah blah blah, all that fun stuff. But it is sort of like amazing. And then of course guys like Johnny Depp and what's the other guy's name, Nicolas Cage, with their sometimes extravagant radical spending habits, and then they have someone like a firm that they deal with, like a financial consulting slash, consulting him and dealing with his affairs. So trying to keep up with someone like that, because when they bring in the money, they bring it in large volumes. I want to say when Johnny signs a new contract for a new film for Disney or something like that, it is like a windfall. And then there, of course, is some payback to maybe some, accounts and stuff. Well, then you're maintaining like 20 houses and the staffing that is required in some cases. But on our thing, it'd be very simple, as in, okay, maybe it's just a house where we could hang out and have our friends over slash, you know, um, just to chill, like literally like a chill zone, a creative place for us to just think and be, kind of like where we're at now, but of course located in Summerland, where ideally our childhood home. To me, it's crazy that those places, they almost kind of price people out. Like if we would have stayed in, would my dad be able to, when the house is evaluated at a certain number, your property taxes, do they continue to go up? Stupid
Well,
question.
I think that that's part of it. Like if
Yeah.
you own the house and it never transfers, it's like, you know, uh, you're in a contract for rent, a lease agreement. They're
Yeah.
only allowed to boost it up a certain amount, but once you move out, they can boost it up,
Okay.
right? The same thing I think with houses. Like this house may evaluate at 200,000, but it's on the tax rolls for 150 because that's
Okay.
what I bought it for.
Okay. Okay.
And I guess it can probably go up every now and then,
Okay.
but until I sell it, if I sold it for 250,000, say 5 years from now, then it would be evaluated at that.
Okay.
See, so and
Yeah.
then if someone 5 years after that sells it for 500,000, it would be evaluated at that. So I guess supply and demand, market, and everything. It's like, okay, if people want to live on the beach and in this cool little kind of quiet little secluded town, and a lot of people want to do that, and some people with money want to do that, and those people with money say, oh, I'm gonna buy that $150,000 house for 200,000, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put another 100,000 with the county. Like that would be another reason. Oh, I went and got building permits for
Yeah.
another, say, an ADU or a bedroom or whatever requires a permit, and now they can come and say, "Oh, well, that adds $10,000 of value. That extra bedroom adds $20,000 of value. That ADU adds $70,000 of value. So you're going to pay taxes on that." And then these are just kind of different. This is kind of where I'm at, Jericho. It's like,
Yeah. No, smart.
oh, okay, so this guy said it and that guy said it. It's almost as if me and you sat here and said, "Oh, well, we're this idea, we're this Summerland Kids, and we're a multi-billion-dollar international company with privately owned clubhouses throughout the world, private jets,
Right.
or whatever the
Yeah.
big businesses do. To really, in fact, make that happen, it would just
Right.
be a matter of you and I saying, yes, this is what we concord. This is what we have created. It's
Right.
real. It's fictitious, but it's real. See,
For
it's over
sure.
here. It's fictitious. It's over here. It's real. But is it
How far are you from the capital of California? Like the Sacramento? Like
about an
what's
hour
the
and a half?
hour and a half? There has to be something that can be learned from the capital city. I don't know what. I mean, it seems like that would be where some decisions are made. I mean, you think,
To me, it just seems so arbitrary. It's two
right?
people in a room. Even
I
the
know,
laws.
right? Yeah.
What is it? Congress does it. Okay, there's 20 people in two different rooms. You got the House and the
Yeah.
Senate, or whatever it is, you
Yeah. Yeah.
know. And it's like,
No.
oh, okay, the United States of America is in Washington D.C. What the hell is Washington D.C.? So
Right.
I'm out there today. I guess you caught a little bit of what was going on this morning before the show. It may be because of that.
Yeah. For
It
sure.
may be because
Well, it is good to warm up. Like you've had a good mental run before the show, and that oftentimes, for the audience out there, we have no mental run before the show. I mean, I had a dream last night where I had to clock it. I had a dream where I was either on a plane or a train. I can't remember, but I do. It was either a plane or a train, and I was speaking with a conductor. I literally I signed up for a job in my dream to be there at 7:30 in the morning, and I was trying to juggle how am I going to do the morning show, um, because I have to start this job. And, and I was actually contemplating, can I have a job in my dream? Um, so can I literally go into my dream and go back to that job every day? And the job would only pay $25 a day, apparently. That was that was the what the guy was going to give me, $25 today to be on the train and assist with train or plane. I can't recall what it was, but that was it. I was like assisting the conductor or something, conductor's assistant or pilot's assistant for $25 a day. So I was literally going like, how am I going to make this happen? I was literally thinking that in my kind of like waking, half in, half out reality. So anyways,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Dreams are kind of a trip, you know. Dreams are kind of a
totally.
trip.
But
You know.
they can become reality though. You can dream something up, like I think my uncle, my uncle, let's say he was definitely my uncle. I think he had a dream where he solved the equation of how to fix the wheels on the lunar lander little roving vehicle that was having a problem. So he came up with the solution and then proposed that solution. And they're like, "Who is this guy?" And they're like, "Well, let's just." It seems like his math works out. It seems like his problem solving is there. And it turns out he did solve the solution. They did send that data or whatever that he thought up, and then he got what's called the Snoopy Award. They gave him the Snoopy Award from like NASA or something for fixing that thing and making it drive again. So, anyways, that's that story.
That's who is that now? The
My uncle,
uncle,
it
your
was
dad's
my
brother?
no, it was my aunt's second husband. So he was like a step uncle, if they call him that. But my aunt remarried because my aunt's original husband, my dad's sister, her husband passed away. Apparently, the first time I ever smiled, his name was Fred. I was in Uncle Fred's arms and I smiled for the first time when I was like 1 year old or something at the hospital. He got cancer and passed away. Um, and then
Oh, goodness.
my aunt was a single mom with two kids, and she was a church going lady, and she met her future husband Mel, my uncle Mel, in church. And Mel also had two kids, so it's kind of like the Brady Bunch style, where two people meet after they starting a new life. And so Mel was an amazing guy who worked for maybe it was Raytheon, or it wasn't NASA, but it was an affiliate of the space program back then. So he was
All
a
right.
freaking amazing dude. So
No,
yeah,
that's wild, you know. Like
yeah,
dreams are a trip, you know. Like it's like if you have it in your brain and you dream it, you know. I guess there's a couple different spins on it. I actually did some
yeah,
work on dreams, whatever dream interpretation,
yeah,
whatever you want to call it. Like some of it's subconscious, like it could be you're just processing through
right,
what's on your mind. It looks like it's part of that, but then also part of it could be
yeah,
predictive, like or even processing some thought, like you're saying
yeah,
with your uncle, or predictive, like or projections, even like, oh, because I dreamed this, now my conscious mind is on it. So that's
yeah,
where I'm at, Jericho.
yeah,
Before we go off the air
yeah,
today, I was hoping you'd stick
yeah.
around after
No,
we
sounds
ended the
good.
stream. We could maybe just
Yeah,
continue the
let's do it. Yeah,
conversation
let's do it.
after
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
30-minute
Yeah,
live stream, because like part of it was I was having these maybe daydreams, or maybe dreams of the future of whatever. We're at 100, so we've had our
yeah,
century. I don't know, I think we have more than 50
that's cool.
subscribers, I guess. So I mean, I guess at some point, 10 years in the future, it might work out to $25 a day for doing these
Yeah,
podcasts.
I know.
That'd be awesome. $25 for 30-minute podcast
Yeah,
wouldn't be bad. We could put it in the imaginary fund for this imagination money that we're going to imagine ourselves having these imaginary
right.
clubhouses. But anyway,
Yeah, I want
uh,
to say shout out to.
I'm
That's
on a
good.
good one
Yeah, we'll say
today.
after.
Uh,
I want to say shout out to Brian. Brian owned, because we're on episode 107. I want to say shout out to Brian. He was definitely part owner of Bar 107 downtown, and Bar 107. Brian literally um, took a old bar that I don't know the history, but I'm guessing it'd probably be running for 20 years prior to his getting it. He got it, and transferred the ownership to himself and his girlfriend, et cetera, et cetera. Got the bar up and running, and went through a transitional period of the old clientele and the new clientele, and got his new clientele to be supportive, and had an incredibly successful run. And that ended in, I think, maybe 2015, I'm guessing. So anyways, shout out to Brian, Bar 107, good times in downtown Los Angeles. That's that. So good show today, man. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Coffee with the Summerland Kids, episode 107. We'll see you mañana.
And of course,
Cheers. Peace out.
I'm over here doing. I forgot to make our stream live, so I just made it live
Okay.
just as we're ending the show.
Yeah. That's
But
cool. Well, it's
yeah,
always,
all right. I'm gonna press the button.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay. Yeah, cool.
All right, press the
Cheers.
button.
Cheers, everybody.